The new Porsche 911 GT2 RS claims this title by way of a 515 kilowatts biturbo flat engine. Weighing in at 470 kilograms with a full fuel tank, the lightweight two-seater accelerates from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 2.8 seconds despite being driven by only its rear wheels. The coupe has a top speed of 340 kilometers per hour, and with its near motorsport drive technology, the new 911 GT2 RS trumps its 3.6-liter predecessor by 59 kilowatts and achieves a torque of 750 Nm. The model builds on the 911 Turbo S 3.8-liter engine, which produces 427 kilowatts. In order to increase performance, large turbochargers push an increased volume of process air into the combustion chambers. A new additional cooling system delivers optimum cooling at peak loads and, at very high temperatures, sprays the charged air cooler with water. This causes the gas temperature to fall in the overpressure range and ensures optimum power output, even under extreme conditions. The customized GT 7-speed PDK double-clutch transmission in the new GT2 RS enables power to be transferred with uninterrupted traction. What's more, the specially developed exhaust system is made from extra lightweight titanium, weighs around 7 kilograms less than the system used in the 911 Turbo and induces goosebumps. Porsche claimed the 911 GT2 RS takes cornering speeds to another level thanks to its racing chassis with rear axle steering and ultra-high performance (UHP) tires. Like all GT sports cars, the new top model features a specially calibrated Porsche stability management with a sport mode that is tailored to provide optimal driving dynamics. Powerful air intakes, outlets and the imposing rear wing emphasize the vehicle's aerodynamics. The large, wide wheels, 265/35 ZR28 at the front and 325/30 ZR21 at the rear, ensure outstanding braking and cornering forces. The 911 GT2 RS features Porsche ceramic composite brakes, PCCB, as standard. The front wings, wheel housing vents, outer shells on the sport design exterior mirrors, air intakes on the rear side sections and parts of the rear end are made from carbon fiber reinforced plastic, CFR, as are many of the interior components. The bonnet is also made from carbon to make the vehicle as lightweight as possible, while the standard trim roof is made from magnesium. Both body parts have a wide lateral swage line. Performance can be cranked up a notch through the optional Y-Sub package, which provides a weight saving of around 30 kilograms. The package includes additional elements made from carbon fiber reinforced plastic and titanium. For instance, the roof and the anti-roll bars are made of carbon, and so are the coupling rods on both axles. Magnesium wheels reduce both the gross weight and the unsprung weight, providing a greater wealth of impressive chassis properties. The luggage compartment lid and the carbon weave finish roof are emblazoned with a central strip in the same color as the car for a visually distinctive look. The interior of the 911 GT2 RS is dominated by red Alcantara, black leather in interior parts with a carbon weave finish as standard. The model's sports steering wheel with gear shift paddles enables quick and sporty gear changes. Drivers and passengers experience the driving dynamics of the high-performance sports car in full bucket seats with a carbon weave finish. Typical of every 911, the Porsche Communication Management (PCM) is the central control unit for audio, navigation and communication. The Connect Plus module and Porsche Track Precision app are also included as standard, enabling detailed recording, display and analysis of driving data on a smartphone. The optional Chrono package expands the PCM functions to include performance display, which can be used to show, save and evaluate track times. The package also includes a stopwatch on the switch panel with both analog and digital display. What's more, the Chrono package on the 911 GT2 RS comes with a lap trigger. Using the Porsche Track Precision app in conjunction with external markers on a start-finish straight, this lap trigger enables drivers to record lap times with a high level of precision. For the first time, Porsche Design has teamed up with Porsche Motorsport to develop the 911 GT2 RS chronograph, exclusively for customers of the new supersports car. At its heart is a first clock movement developed by Porsche Design, the product of 3 years' work. The Caliber 01.200 includes a flyback function, a load path optimized movement bridge and an official COSC certificate of authenticity. The timepiece housing is made of lightweight titanium. Many other details on the timepiece are based on the high-performance sports car. The tungsten winding rotor is modeled on the rims of the 911 GT2 RS. The clock face is made of carbon, while the design of the time display matches the instrument cluster in the tachometer. The new 911 GT2 RS with a 3-year drive plan is now available for order in South Africa, with prices starting at 4 South African Rand 411,000.
Maserati has given its long-running 4-seat Gran Turismo Coupe and Gran Cabrio drop-top sports cars anti-aging pills. They've been the recipient of restyles that were never intended to happen until a reshuffle of Maserati model plans delayed the introduction of an all-new Maserati GT/GC for a couple of years, or more. So instead of the GT being eased out of production at the end of 2016 to make way for the completely new Alfieri, a smaller 2-seat Porsche 911 competitor, and ultimately the all-new GT and GC, Maserati has given us generously facelift versions in the interim. But best laid plans. The Italian marque is very quiet on when the world will see the production version of the smaller 2-seat Alfieri, the concept of which was unveiled at the 2014 Geneva Motor Show. It denies the pushback in the introduction of the all-new next-generation GT/GC can be blamed on the recent downturn in China sales, and a subsequent loss of profits intended for new product development. But steady sales of the current GT/GC models, around 3,000 a year, and positive customer feedback have encouraged the Italian sports luxury brand to splash out on a serious facelift to keep pulling in buyers for the immediate future. More than 37,000 Gran Turismo and Gran Cabrio models have been produced in the small Via Ciro Minotti factory in Modena, and it looks like Maserati is keen for the sales to keep ticking over. Both have been around for quite some time in modern-day production terms. Current-shaped GT bowed back in 2007. The GC followed 2 years later. Another factor is the necessity to get the eventual replacement GT/CG right, with many production decisions still to be made. Does Maserati keep the barking, bellowing V8? Probably not, despite its particular appeal. A turbocharged V6 seems a likely power plant in light of tougher emissions targets. What is certain is some non-negotiable elements of 2 cars. Timeless styling, 2 doors, 4 seats, front engine, strong performance, reliability and high levels of comfort and character. The next-gen car has a tough act to follow. It must be better in every way to succeed in the very competitive premium market of around 1 million vehicles a year. Luxury SUVs are making huge inroads while the coupe convertible slice is now around 15%. Maserati claims ownership of the 4-seat Gran Turismo concept, so it's no great surprise that it places so much importance on this high-impact, low-volume seller. This latest facelift goes surprisingly further than the expected exterior modest styling tweak. Adherents have an unholy love of the GT/GC look, like Sophia Loren. These ageless beauties wear the years well. The unmistakable sound of the naturally aspirated 4.7-liter V8 engine aboard the GT and GC is also part of the appeal. Seeking maximum impact for the facelifted models, Maserati settled on most significant car culture event in the world, the Goodwood Festival of Speed, to show off the 2018 model Gran Turismo and Gran Cabrio. Although the Americans saw the coupe a couple of days earlier at a special reveal at the NYSE, New York Stock Exchange. Goodwood, though, with its massive turnout of car aficionados, was reserved for the world premiere of the Gran Cabrio. Making their global dynamic debuts, the restyled Gran Turismo and Gran Cabrio models took to the Goodwood Hill Climb. Sitting alongside tame British racing driver Jamie Unwin in a deep red Gran Turismo MC for the spirited blast up the 1.16-mile ribbon of tarmac was fun, though way short of a definitive product evaluation for drive. That will need to wait until the official launch. While Maserati would never suggest the Gran Cabrio is a pure sports car, Mr. Unwin showed that with the right buttons pressed, traction control switched off, and the driver in attack mode, and that glorious, operatic non-turbo V8 rev out to approaching its 8,000 Moroccan dirhams red line, the coupe can manage some very athletic maneuvers. The Pirelli's hanging on for dear life. It fairly tore up the twisting, narrow climb to have this passenger quickly re-evaluating the comfortable cruiser tag I'd rather rashly applied before we set off. As before, the both models comprise two versions, the Sport and the MC, Maserati Corse. Both versions are equipped with the naturally aspirated 4.7-liter V8 engine, hand-built by Ferrari in Maranello. It too has received some attention in this facelift, with power up from 338 kilowatts to 343 kilowatts at 7,000 RPMs with 520 Nm of torque peaking at 4,750 RPMs. A 6-speed ZF automatic gearbox is standard. It persists with those long, fixed boomerang paddles either side of the wheel. There is still debate over fixed versus paddles that move. Race drivers generally prefer paddle shifters that move with the wheel, like Mercedes, Porsche, Audi. However, Maserati quickly insists that it is not alone, and that Ferrari and Alfa also have a fixed gear paddles. One or two British brands are also supporters. The engine power increase leads to a slight improvement in performance compared to the previous model year. The 2018 Gran Turismo Sport accelerates from 0 to 100 km per hour in 4.8 seconds and reaches a top speed of 299 km per hour, while the lighter MC version makes it to 100 km per hour in 4.7 seconds and has a top speed of 301 km per hour. The extent of the cabin upgrade is unusual for a car approaching its use-by date, but perhaps understandable given the criticism of the music and sat-nav offerings. It's not easy to redesign an existing car to accept today's sophisticated state-of-the-art infotainment systems and integrate it into all the other systems that have vital roles in running the car optimally and safely. But that's exactly what Maserati has done. In a pleasing modern meets tradition way. Many older, long-time owners were apparently content with the clunky old multimedia system with its small screen. But with the median age of Maserati owners coming down, the passé system had to go. The 2018 GT and GC get a new, high-resolution 8.4-inch capacitive touchscreen, the same as the Levante, Ghibli and Quadriport, and Harman Kardon premium sound system. Importantly, the infotainment system offers both Apple CarPlay and Android Auto smartphone mirroring functions, while the redesigned central console accommodates a double rotary controller knob of forged aluminium. Maserati does flair and elegance like few others, but the cabin also has room for two reasonably dimensioned rear passengers and individual seats trimmed in leather from Italian craftspeople Poltrona Frau. There are also other Alcantara and leather upholstery choices. A little too about the outside changes. Yes, the new shark nose hexagonal grille inspired by the Alfieri concept is obvious and adds a three-dimensional effect to its frontal of the GT and GC. Along with new, lower air ducts, the revised grille helps improve the airflow while reducing aerodynamic drag from 0.33 to 0.32. The 2018 Gran Turismo and Gran Cabrio will arrive in Australia and New Zealand early next year, with local prices and specifications yet to be locked in. but expect the Oz pricing of the base GT to be not far from the $295,000 of the current version. Maserati Australia and New Zealand boss Glenn Seeley believes the GT and GC can sustain buyer appeal for several reasons, one being the rarity of a large displacement, naturally aspirated in a segment increasingly populated by turbocharged and supercharged power plants. Australians, he says, relish the barking exhaust sounds and an engine that really comes to life high in the rev range. The 4.7 is the last non-turbo V8 in the Maserati lineup. History on show. A collection of historic Maserati Gran Turismo cars was also assembled at Goodwood to reinforce the point about the company's 70 years of stylish GT cars. The display started with the A6 1500, the original Gran Turismo model launched at the 1947 Geneva Motor Show with a 1.5-litre six-cylinder inline engine under a revolutionary Pininfarina body. The first mass-produced Maserati, the 3500 GT, followed in 1957 with an aluminium body around a 3.5-litre six-cylinder engine. The 1967 Ghibli Coupe, designed by a youthful Giorgetto Giugiaro and considered one of the great Italian Grand Tourers, was powered by a 4.7-litre V8. The Ghibli SS followed in 1970 with a larger, 4.9-litre V8. The predecessor to today's Gran Turismo, the 3200 GT, designed by Giugiaro, arrived in 1998 with a twin-turbo 3.2-litre V8 engine.